So a couple weeks ago, DJI reached out to me and sent me over the new launch DJI Mini 3. Nope, just kidding. DJI didn't reach out to me, they didn't send me over the new product, even though I did apply for a new product tester. But hey, maybe this is the video. Maybe after watching this video, they might have some thoughts. Who knows? But you know what's even more interesting is to figure out whether if you should actually upgrade. Let's say if you have a Mavic Air 2 or like me, I have a Mavic Mini 2. Should we actually upgrade? So first thing first, the price. DJI Mini 3's MSRP, which stands for Manufacturer Suggested Retail Price, I believe, is about $750 to $900, which is expensive, I would say, for most of the majority of people, not like big content creators. And it's a solid $300 increase compared to the Mini 2. So basically, they put the Mavic Air 2 and the Mini 3 side by side to compare. So should the Mini 3 still be in the Mini series or be in the Mavic series and become Mavic 3? I don't know. Just keep watching to the end. So according to what DJI said, this was supposed to be for shooting vertical videos, like for social media content, like on Instagram, like on TikTok, like on YouTube Shorts, which is nice, but honestly not really a big deal to me. And at this point, I just want to ask, how many vertical drone videos do you actually see on this platform every day? And honestly, not so much. And if you just think about it, most of the people that are watching this kind of content are using their phone and not on like a 4K big monitor and pixel pick each pixel. And I just feel like the design of the gimbal and the front of the drone just looks a bit bold. And honestly, why do I feel like DJI just want to sell some more DJI kits? Because this just looks so much more dangerous compared to the Mini 2 or the Mavic Air 2. And speaking of safety, DJI added those obstacle sensor on the back and the front, which is nice because people that are using these beginner drones are mostly people who are amateur beginners and they probably don't know what they're doing. That's kind of like pity because DJI only put these sensor on the higher end lineup, like the Mavic 2, like the Mavic 3. And yeah, these people that are using these high-end drones probably know what they're doing and they're probably not gonna crash their drone that much compared to a beginner. So yeah, I think that this might be one of the greatest reason why you should upgrade or you should buy this drone if you just don't feel safe and you want to fly safely. Video quality. So I'm sure you've heard about this a lot on YouTube, like a million times, but I'm just gonna quickly go over them. So basically, Mini 3 has a much bigger sensor compared to the Mini 2. So what does a bigger sensor mean? A higher effective pixel, which is 48 megapixel, which is 4 times bigger than the DJI Mini 2, and also 2 times higher than my Sony a6400 that is shooting right now, which is crazy. And the higher sensor also mean higher bitrate. You might be wondering, what does a higher bitrate mean? Well, I'm glad that you asked. So let me just put it in this context. When you work with a really low bitrate footage, when you do heavier color grades, the footage will fall apart really quickly. So for example, if I pull up so many of the shadows, or if I do like so much color grading, it will just become grainy and you see the noise hidden in there. And as I just go into the color grading world, I kind of realized how important bitrate is. And speaking of the color, this DJI Mini 3 has a very important feature that I didn't mention, which I should, is that it enables you to shoot in HDR mode and decent and light mode. So what does that mean? In case you don't know, HDR stands for high dynamic range. And let's just look at this footage, right? This is a sunset shot from my last cinematic drone video, and if you haven't checked that out, I will put a log card over here. But yeah, in order to properly expose the highlights, I had to underexpose my shadows, and on the other side, in order to properly expose my shadows, I will have to overexpose the highlights. So it's always just one or the other, but in HDR it enables you to properly expose both, and that would just look a lot more better. And yeah, it just looks better. And decent and light is pretty much like a log profile, give you more opportunity to work with the colors. And yeah, on my Sony, like right now I'm using a log. Like this is the ungraded version and this is the graded version. So yeah, a small comparison. I hope it's pretty understandable now. And now let's get back to the video. A higher aperture which allow you to perform in low light. And at this point, speaking of aperture, I'm not sure if there's anyone like me who still haven't bought an ND filter pack yet. So basically now when I'm shooting with my drone, in order for it to properly expose, I have to crank down my shutter speed in order for it to properly expose, because I can't tune my aperture, and that's just gonna cause a so unnatural motion blur, and it just looks garbage. It's just like one picture after the other. But if I just have a manually controllable aperture, I can just crank down my aperture without losing the natural motion blur. And I really hope that DJI could do this, because honestly, in such a wide shot, like most of the drones are really wide, you really don't need that depth of field, and I just don't get why we can't control our aperture. So yeah, DJI, maybe we should, on the next Mini 4 or the next drone, consider about that. So now let's talk about some reactions on mine. So my first and pretty much the biggest is that I can't create any more content about this drone anymore. It's not like saying that I can't shoot with this drone anymore. It's just like I can't talk about like, oh, should you buy the DJI Mini 2 in 2022, in 2023? Because no one is gonna care about new model's predecessor, and the trend is just gone. And I'm sure with many creators who have a Mini 2, they're just not gonna create any of these videos. So yeah, and honestly, I have a lot of videos planned out for the DJI Mini 2, and all of a sudden DJI was like, oh, DJI Mini 3, here you go. And creators like me, boom, we can't create anymore. So what are my final thoughts? So I would consider myself as an experienced pilot now. I've been flying in all kind of conditions, and I think I'm a bit more qualified to talk about these kind of things comparing to February when I just got this drone for about 1 month, and yeah, like I didn't know much about drones back then. So if you don't have a drone and your budget is not that tight, definitely get this one. It is literally a no-brainer, and why would someone care about its predecessor, just like I said. And if you already own a drone like the Mini 2, like the Mavic Air 2, I think it needs a bit more consideration, or in other words, don't upgrade. Unless you only make content on Instagram or YouTube Shorts or TikTok, and you don't want to create these vertical videos, because honestly, I think that is the only part that really shines to me when it comes to the new features and what it provides. So yeah, and if you have like an Air series, keep with it. That's good enough. And yeah, even if you want to crop your video down a bit, the quality is still good enough. So that is basically what I want to say for the whole video. I think that my opinions is not gonna be standardized or finalized for you. Like, my voice is just coming out from a DJI Mini 2 pilot. Maybe you're just a beginner and you want to hear something else. So yeah, there's still many creators out there who do good stuff. But yeah, it's really nice to do these like sit and talk scripted videos, because I've been just working on those long period of time challenging videos. And yeah, if you haven't checked them out already, you can check them out here or here, I don't know. But yeah, those videos are gonna give you a lot of motivation and inspiration, and yeah, just make sure to check them out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it provided value to you, and if it did, make sure to subscribe. That helped me a lot, and just help brands like DJI reach out to me. And I hope you have a great day, and see you soon.